Hey guys, welcome to day 5 of our online nutrition coaching course. Thank you so much for making it this far. I'm super excited that you made it to the end. I hope you got a lot of value out of this series. It's been an absolute pleasure to bring it to you. And thank you so much to all the people who have registered for that strategy call, that 30-minute strategy call we're putting on for free, one-on-one over the phone, where we get to chat with you and troubleshoot your goals and get you there forever. Thank you so much to all those people. It's super exciting to hear from so many people and all their different stories. One thing that I always get asked, and I give this information, we've had a great chat over the last 4 days about 4 really hard-hitting topics, and this is the question that I always get asked at the end. Okay, so seriously, how do I lose weight? Now, this is a little bit tongue-in-cheek, but it's a serious question. You've got all the information, and now you're like, what the hell do I do realistically to get my calories down? How the hell do I get into calorie deficit? I know I've got to exercise now 4 to 5 times a week. I know I've got to move more out throughout the day, but what else do I need to do? Can't you just give me a shake or something and it all just works for me? Here's the thing, guys, is getting into calorie deficit isn't as easy as what people sell it to be, okay? It takes a little bit of work, it takes some tips and tricks, and it takes some commitment to the cause. And today, I'm going to give you 6 of my biggest habit changes, my biggest tricks, the things that work over and over and over again. Now, you're armed with the knowledge now that we need to consume less calories than what our body needs in order to lose fat. Now we know that, but now I'm going to give you some practical tips, some tricks, some actual tools to put into your toolbox so you can eat less calories, okay? Without even thinking about it too much. So let's go through those now. So how do I lose weight? Seriously, how do I do it? Number 1, calorie deficit. You cannot lose fat mass if you're not in total energy deficit. It's impossible. You can't do it. If you're not losing fat, it's because we're not in calorie deficit. Simple as that, okay? If you're gaining fat, it's because you're not in calorie deficit. So this is everything. We've got to find that figure with the calculator, find our number, and we've got to consume below that. So how do we do that? Calorie deficit. My biggest tip, my biggest tool that works over and over and over again is eating slowly. What I've found is, as a society these days, we eat very quickly. We shovel food in. We're always on the go. We're either watching TV or we're, eating on our own at the desk and just shoveling it in, or we're midway through something while we're eating. And we seem to eat very quickly. Now, the problem is it takes our tummy 20 minutes to send a message to our brain that we're full. So if you're eating a meal in 5 minutes, your tummy hasn't had time to send the link to your brain saying, stop, I'm full. So if you're eating under 20 minutes, you're hacking that system, and therefore you're going to be over-consuming because you hadn't had a chance to tell yourself that you're full. So our biggest tip is slow down the pace in which you eat to around about 20 minutes, okay? Now, 20 minutes for a lot of people who are used to eating in 3 or 4 is a huge shift. Huge. So we've got to practice it. We've got to literally stop, put the stopwatch on the phone, and slowly eat to that stopwatch. We've got to practice this habit. Now, a lot of people have said to me in the past, I don't have 20 minutes at lunch to sit down and eat because I'm doing stuff, and that is cool. In that scenario, have a few mouthfuls, put the food away, go and do your stuff. Come back in 10 minutes, have a few mouthfuls, put the food down, and go and do your stuff. And then come back in 10 minutes until that meal is finished. Now, what you'll find is after that 20-minute time frame, even if you've only had a few bites, you will be starting to feel satisfied. And you won't have the desire to shovel the food in, okay? Eating slowly is one of the biggest tips that I can give you. Practice it. It takes time to get it right, but it will result in you eating less. The second tip I have is focus on 3 meals only, okay? We seem to be in this mindset that we need to have breakfast, snack, lunch, snack, dinner, dessert. So we're eating over the course of 6 times per day. Now, fitting 1,500 calories, as an example, over 6 meals isn't very many calories, okay? It's 250 calories per meal. It's not a lot. But if you're focusing on 3 meals per day only, number one, you don't have to stress about what you should be eating in between your main meals. Number two, you can eat more at those meals, so it's a more substantial meal. And number three, you're going to eat less because it's a lot harder to eat 500 calories in 3 meals than it is to eat 250 calories over 6 meals, okay? So, focusing on 3 meals only, so you're only eating breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and you're not eating in between those meals is super, super crucial. And it's a cool little tip that also works every time. Coupled with eating slowly, this is dynamite. And these 2 things alone will get you to your result if you practice them and if you complete them. Those 2 things on their own, super crucial. Eat nice and slowly. If you're on the go, couple of mouthfuls, put it away. 3 times per day, you're gonna nail it straight away. Okay, you'll find that you're fuller with less food because your gut has told your brain you're full. Tip 3, another issue that I find from coaching people every day is we consume a huge amount of calories from our drinks. Studies show Australian adults consume 30%, 1/3 of their daily calories from fluids, from drinks. Coffee is a big one, but other big ones include soft drinks and juices, okay? Be really wary of how many calories you're consuming in your drinks. Problem with drinks is they tend to pass through us a lot quicker, don't make us as full and satisfied, and therefore we often disregard them as not being food, as not containing energy, okay? If you are having multiple milk-based coffees a day, let's just say, for example, 2 or 3, you are consuming 1/3 or more of your daily limits from those drinks. So if your calorie limit's 1,500 calories and you're consuming 500 just from the coffees, the milk-based coffees you're drinking, you've only got 1,000 calories left, okay? So all of a sudden your 500 calorie meals over 3 times a day have gone to 330 calorie meals. You need to eat less food because you've drunk the calories from the coffees, okay? Same with juices and same with other calorie-containing beverages, okay? Almost everything contains calories, drinks, except for water and your black teas, your black coffees, they all, and herbal teas, everything else is calorie containing. You've got to be really wary of how much energy is in one of those cups, okay? Reduced calorie drinks. We like 1 per day is okay. For most people, they can work around that, but you need to factor that in to the total amount of calories you're consuming. Okay, seriously, how do I lose weight? Calorie deficit, number 1. Tip number 2, ironically, is calorie deficit. This is the only way you can lose fat. There's no miracle except for you need to be in calorie deficit. So we've come up with those 3 ways. Let me give you 3 bonus tips and tricks that I've learned over the years on how you can reduce the amount of calories you're consuming. Way number 4 is by logging what you're doing, okay? There's a link just below to a 3-day food diary. you can write down on that everything you're eating, in the amounts that you're eating it, and then look back in 3 days and go, wow, that was a lot of food, or I didn't need that second coffee or that third coffee, or I didn't need that chocolate bar. Or you can identify maybe areas of trigger times. It might be 3 o'clock in the afternoon when you're starting to get bored and you're starting to nod off. It could be fatigue, it could be stress, it could be a happy emotion. It could be you going out with a boyfriend for a takeaway dinner. Whatever it is, you could identify these trigger times and identify where you might be over consuming some foods or some beverages, okay? Logging everything is a really valuable tool, and by logging everything and then jumping on the strategy call with us, we can then start to nut out where maybe things can start to shift and change. The fifth way is by stopping at a concept we called 80%, okay? So what I mean by that is stop eating when your tank is 80% full. When you feel like you could keep eating, but you're satisfied. You don't need to eat anymore. Now, 80% is just a number, all right? But I want you to imagine that 100% is post-Christmas dinner where you go, oh my God, I am full, okay? 80% is 20% less than that. So you're not stuffed, but you're satisfied. You could eat more, you know you have eaten more in the past, but you're going to stop because you're satisfied. Another way I like to put this into perspective for people is, if I asked you to come for a run after your meal, you could do that comfortably. Whereas if you're more than 80%, you would want to vomit, okay? So you could still move, you're still comfortable, you're satisfied, but it's not to a point where you feel like you would throw up if you did some exercise, okay? So 80% is that concept, and that basically means you're training your brain and your body to handle less food and understand that it's okay to be consuming less food. It's okay to not be stuffing yourself after every meal and being bloated. It's okay to feel just satisfied, okay? And then tip number 6, we've spoken about this already, we spoke about this yesterday. Way to get into calorie deficit is increasing your non-exercise activity thermogenesis. Move more throughout the day, be more physically active. That will result in you burning more calories, which will result in effortless weight loss, because all of a sudden your body has become accustomed to moving and you'll just become this machine of movement and energy expenditure, and that is what matters. Guys, thank you so much. I hope you got so much value out of this 5-day course. I had a great time bringing it to you. Here's how our tips and tricks for you reducing the amount of calories you're consuming. Remember, calorie deficit is everything when it comes to fat loss. Lastly, if you need this strategy session, if you're looking here right now and going, geez, I need just that little bit of motivation, I need to start training, or I need some more help, 30-minute strategy session, right down below, enter your details, we'll contact you straight away and we'll set up a call time and we will nut through your case one-on-one just for you. It's well worth it, guys. It's something we're really passionate about and we can't wait to speak with you. Thank you so much. Hope you got a lot of value out of this, guys. Have a wonderful day. Any questions, please let us know. Otherwise, so good to have you here. Can't wait to see you down in the studio, and we'll speak to you soon. Have a wonderful day.